10 minutes with Wild Wayne Cartwright. And today, I'm talking about the real predictions of SWAC football for week number 3. We've got a lot of games on the slate, so let's just enjoy. First off, Prairie View going to Michigan State. All right, we already know how this is going to turn out, but as much credit as I tried to give Prairie View for coming back last week against Northwestern State, this happened last night. Northwestern State, man, an 80 piece. And if they didn't play 6-minute quarter in the fourth quarter, this thing could have been a lot worse. But in any event, the game at hand. This is how those Spartans are going to be looking when you come into Spartan Stadium tomorrow. Just get your check, stay healthy, get on back home, because you got those Southern Jaguars next week. And Bethune-Cookman. This is even worse for you guys. Not only did you only score 2 points last week, now you're playing a Bronco team in Western Michigan that hasn't been scoring many points themselves. And you know what happens when you try to ride a bucking Bronco. This is exactly how it's going to feel for a lot of them Bethune-Cookman Wildcat players and some of your fans. This one ain't going to be too good. So if you want to find something else to do besides watch this game, why don't you do that? Edward Waters. Well, Alcorn, home opener on the reservation. And I think this is a welcome sight for you because after these two clunkers that you had where you hadn't scored a touchdown and gave up 96 points in the process, I think playing Edward Waters is a welcome sight. This just in. Expect your fight song to be heard a lot on Saturday night. Shout out to Valley. Shout out to Valley. Now, you know, I always said that you guys, you had a lot of uniform combinations and you're going to look real good while you're losing your games. So week 1, you went with the all-white kit. You had the red lids. Last week, you had the red bottoms to go with the red lids. So I expect a whole nother setup tomorrow as you're getting soundly defeated again. But I still love you, Valley. Your home opener on your new field's coming soon. Good days are ahead. We hope. Now, this game right here with Grambling against Texas A&M Commerce, I know some of y'all were like, who? Well, this is where Texas A&M Commerce plays. And maybe the only thing weirder about this matchup is that big old lion head in the middle of the field. Well, Grambling, I know that your head is probably in the next week. At least your fans are. Getting ready for Jackson State coming down to the hole. But you know what? You just might have a chance in this game. Maybe. And there's Pine Bluff. Man, you guys look real good against that high school team last week. Well, Arkansas Baptist wasn't a high school team, but they might as well have been because you ran through them 73-0. Well, you know, Tennessee State, they're not too thrilled after taking this pasting up there in Fargo, North Dakota. Now, granted, almost everybody would have got whooped by this much. But they're going to come in ready to show you the business there in Memphis. Alabama State. Well, you got on the board last week, which, you know, was not a surprise to many of us. But now you're taking on a Bulldog team in Alabama, in the city of Birmingham, no less, which is one of 2 losses you're going to have this year in the city of Birmingham against teams named Bulldogs. I think you know about this game right here. So, you know, tomorrow night, just get practice for what it feels like to lose to a Bulldog team. And speaking of a Bulldog team, hey, look, it's my team taking on Georgetown College. I know some people are like, well, who is Georgetown College? Yeah, well, you know, I'll give them a little bit of respect because they're an NAIA team and they've been pretty good over the years. And, you know, draw all the viewers' attention to this one gentleman right here. Everybody just say hello, if you would, to Lawson Vaughn. Now, why do I bring up Mr. Vaughn? This gentleman right here, he's from the Columbus area, Ohio, that is, just like me. And while I was at a track practice for my oldest daughter during the summer, he was there working out. And I was happened to be wearing an Alabama A&M t-shirt that day. He looked at the t-shirt and said, "Oh, Alabama A&M. I guarantee that we are going to beat you guys." And I had a real good laugh because when I pulled up his stats, it was pretty hilarious. I said, "Now, you're a fifth-year senior, and you've got a whole whopping 35 tackles in 5 seasons. That's 7 tackles a year, man." And then you look at him as a defensive end, he's got 1 whole sack. That's not exactly grounds for you to be feeling like you're qualified to making some guarantees. But best believe, once we put the boots to y'all tomorrow, I will be paying you a visit on social media, Mr. Vaughn. And now, the game of the week. The Boombox Classic. Played down there in the vet. All the possibilities. This one's been nasty all week. And this game is being played as a non-conference game. SWAC commissioner and SWAC, everybody at the SWAC office, we got to make this a conference game every year if we can, man. But nevertheless, it's good to see these two match up on the field. Now, Jackson State has won the last 4 games, and they've done it in pretty impressive fashions. And as I said, a lot of this stuff has gotten rough. You know, I saw this one. This came from the Jackson State contingent. They said, "You can't spell," well, you know, you fill in the rest, you know. And then you've got some things about potholes down there in Jackson. You know, shout out to y'all in Jackson, though. You know what it is down there. But the real game itself, you're going to see the bands that are going to show out. And it's going to be awesome. Because both these are 2 of the best bands that have ever existed in all of civilization. I'll say that. And I will predict that this gentleman right here, you will see a very nice sighting of this gentleman right here. Mr. Dapper, Mr. Clean in himself. I don't know this man's name, but I will say that he is one of the greatest fans in all of HBCU sports. So big shout out to you, sir. But the game itself, Southern and Jackson State, it's going to be a really hard game for me to see Southern win it. Now, if Southern wins, the trash talk will last longer than tomorrow. The trash talk will last longer than this week. It'll last an entire year. If Jackson State wins, well, you know, you can trash talk for a few hours, maybe a day or 2, because you have to make a trip down to Grambling next week. And that should be tasty. So, for everybody, I am just enjoying this trip down college football, HBCU sports. And I hope that everybody this weekend, wherever you are, if you're going to a game, travel safely, have fun, do it responsibly. If you're going to watch the games from home, hey, enjoy it from the comforts of your own couch. But we're going to have a recap show on Sunday night on my other show called The Ride. I'm going to be joined by Perry White of Southern Jaguar fame and also on the Yard Network. And I'm also going to be joined by a whole host of friends. We're going to be talking not just SWAC. We're also going to talk MEAC games. And we're just going to have a good time while doing it. And also, my other show, shout out to my From the Hill podcast crew for Alabama A&M. We'll be back live on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We're going to have our starting quarterback, Quad Brown, on, as well as a strong entrepreneur in the Alabama A&M community. So big shout out to everybody. Have fun. Enjoy week 3 of SWAC football. I'm Wild Wayne Cartwright. See you next time.